It's morning. The birds are singing. The sun is shining. Yesterday my husband cut the suckers around the lilac trees. It's always a big task. We haven't got the mess cleaned up yet, but we will. The wild roses are pretty. Well, they're not in bloom yet. He kind of used his hedge trimmer and kind of shaped the branch. I told him it'll grow back. Yeah, but for right now it looks well groomed. My pumpkins are doing well. Oh, okay. The ones over here are small pumpkins, like the kind you decorate with. The neighbor gave me those. He gave me 3 seeds, and all 3 of them came up. It looks like there's some, whatever you call that white stuff on one of them. This is looking good. Potatoes down here coming up nicely. I have way too much of this common mallow, and it's so hard to get out. Don't mind a little bit of it, but what is that? It sounds like a big truck horn. But I need to come out here and get rid of a lot of this common mallow. It's just trying to take over. And we've been keeping tabs on my dead fig tree, which isn't dead. And we have one over here that I can zoom in on it. Not sure why, but it lost all of its leaves. I'll leave it, maybe it'll come back. There's beans over there, and one of the beans broke in the wind. But I planted some bean seeds, so there should be more coming up there shortly. To come out and get the cheatgrass out. Try to keep on top of it, but that's really hard. But my squash and pumpkins are doing fine. My mulberry tree has the wind and rain have taken its toll, but it's got some brand new leaves at the top. You can see them there. I think I'm zoomed in all the way that it'll go. I'm anxious for it to get big enough to make me some mulberries. I've never eaten them before. Irises are kind of on their last legs. I need to come out here. One of my things on my to-do list is to come out here and put some mulch, or mulch, I guess is what I want to say, down on this so that all the cheatgrass doesn't grow back up. Oh, a bird of some sort serenading us as I walk. Let's listen. I need to harvest some of this mint. I'm not sure what kind of mint it is, and I never bought the seeds. A bird planted it in the other part of my yard last year before maybe, and I made some starts and planted some here, and they've taken off quite nicely. My lilies are going to be blooming before too long. I got this area kind of weeded out. It needs mulch too. Oh, nice size thyme plant down in there. But I think I want to put more in other places. My attempt at artwork. Okay, this area over here needs maintenance. I have a forest of thistles. I have some good things in there too. Some hens and chicks and my lilies. These are the, I don't know the name of, that I transplanted, and they're not looking so hot now. They looked okay for a while after I planted them, but we'll see. I'll leave them. So that's, I don't know if I'll do it today, but within the next few days I need to come out and dig up all those thistles. I have potatoes and onions growing up here. Looking fairly good. It's my bottle tree, and in there I have my sweet potato slips in this big pot, and they are looking good. These are the ones that I purchased from Baker Creek, rareseeds.com. I have, and you can see it better in one of these other, yes, over here. I believe that is, let me zoom in on it. My zoom keeps unzooming. Okay, maybe you can see. There we go. Oop! As soon as I let go of it, I believe that's a petunia plant. I know I had petunias in here last year, and when they all dried up at the end of summer, I kind of squished the seed pods around, hoping they would come back up on their own this year. So it looks like they're trying to make a comeback. Now it can go down. There we go. My fennel that I transplanted from my garden area is doing nicely. I still haven't gotten an answer from anyone as to what these flowers are. I really would like to know. These are my Shasta daisies. Oh, someone on Facebook this morning, a friend of mine actually, was saying that her Shasta daisies self-seed prolifically. I have not had, well, they've expanded in this area, but they haven't gone anywhere else, so I love my Shasta daisies when they're all in bloom. But these are quite pretty too, whatever they are. Let me get closer. Looks like some animal of some sort has been bedding down over on the other side there. My bird bath looks pretty. I have yet to see any birds bathing in it. Here's my latest project. Over here we have corn coming up. If you can see the corn, it's not as much as what I planted coming up, but still, and I have some grown inside that are ready to bring out. They've been sitting out, hardening off for a number of days now. but a distractor for birds, and I might add some more dangly, noisy things on there. I tied up my arugula because it was sprawling all over the place. It's starting to get some little seed pods, so I can save some seeds. I don't know, my carrots are acting weird. They were coming up pretty good, and now they're kind of disappeared. I sprayed a bunch of neem oil on them, but that seems to have made it worse instead of better. Don't know what's happening there. And over here, everything's looking okay. I left this big weed because it's kind of a pretty weed. I asked what you thought it was, and haven't gotten any replies. Let me show you make it big here and show you the leaf. The underside of this is the top side of the leaf. It looks like a bird pooped on it. And let's look at this one. Okay, it has a thick spine. On the back, you can see all the spines, but this is kind of hairy, I guess is what you want to call it. The stem is hairy also. I don't know if I'm showing it there. So I don't know what it is. Cucumbers. Part of them looking real good, part of them bug-eaten. And so one of my goals is to come out here with some seeds and direct sow some of them. These are coming up nicely. I think this is kale. I didn't label it. Water feature is in dreadful need of some work. You can see this grass and what have you around the front here. And then inside I need to get in there, and it's on my to-do list for this week. Clean that all out, give it a repainting, and fill it up with water. So, pine needles that need to be removed, and some flower seeds need to be in there. There's a few bulbs that looks like came up earlier. Our fish has gotten hung back up. I love him. Again, you can hear some birds singing. And walking in front of our weather camera. Sun's in my eyes. I can't tell if I'm showing it. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't tell if I was showing it to you or not. This needs to be cleaned up. Pine needles. Sometimes I just like to stop and look at how beautiful things are in my yard. The raspberries are looking good. About another month and a half, maybe 2, We'll have raspberries to eat. When I was a kid, well, it was on the other side of the mountain, so the weather was a little different than here, but I picked strawberries in June, and on July 4th is usually when we switched over from strawberries to raspberries. These may get ripe sooner than that. Hard to tell. My sunflowers along this fence line are growing. They're bigger than when I put them in there. I need to come out periodically and get rid of all the grass that comes up in there. This grape is doing nicely. Look at that sunflower coming up quite nicely. This grape is coming up nicely too. As is this one. I'm going to use some of these grape leaves when I start preserving, making cucumber pickles. The grape leaves add some kind of I forget what, my bean plants. I came out and put some neem on them. Got some buggy bites, but they're growing. Again, they're probably about at least a good twice as tall as when I first planted them. I'm proud of these littlest grapevines because they're the ones that I started myself from branches cut from the neighbors. Just stuck them down in dirt with some rooting hormone and they made me some great plants. Sunflowers again. The blackberries are looking lush. We will have blackberries to eat before long, probably about the same time as the raspberries, maybe a little later. July, August. They're yummy. These are, get right up close here, you can see. These are thornless ones. Got them started from starts that a neighbor gave me. Well, you didn't think you were going to get through all this without me showing you my garden, right? I have. One thing I haven't really shown you is this is a lilac tree, and I'm not growing it for the purpose of trying to get lilacs. I wanted to experiment with making the branches be in odd shapes and keeping it short, kind of like a bonsai. So you can see in here how I've wrapped, and I've got some more that I need to wrap around here and make them into different shapes. In here I have some, I'm not sure if it's mint or lemon balm, and some garlic and thyme and chive and oregano, I think that is. One of my potato slips from the ones that I slipped myself, all the rain that we had seems to have done it in. I'll just kind of leave it there. And this one grew some new leaves, so I think it's going to be okay. I have some kale Swiss chard there that needs to be harvested. It's getting pretty big. Love Swiss chard and kale too. If you've been keeping track of this kale that I blended too thickly. It's growing to beat all. And I see I've got grass growing in there too, so I need to come out and do some weeding. Another thing to add to my to-do list. I came in and pulled out all the radishes because they made big radish leaves and were some of them trying to bolt and no roots. And it hadn't been all that hot, so I don't know why, but that's the way it goes. I need to plant some more and see if we can get some radishes. Lettuce down in there. All my tomatoes are growing. My strawberries are looking good. This part I put netting over all of it. You can tell that. Peppers in here. My Aunt Molly's right there. Marigolds. Herbs in pots. My ginger is looking a little worse for wear, but with all the wind, I think, and rain, kind of, well, there's a bird on the bird. Let's see if I can get him on the, yeah, there he is. It's Memorial Day, so until noon today our flag is at half-staff. My lettuce needs to be harvested. Look at the size of those cabbage leaves. Things in here looking good. My red lettuce went to bolt. I expect that these peas should be setting on some blooms pretty soon, so we get some peas. They're kind of intertwined in here with the clematis, however you say that. And that's getting ready to bloom too. It's pretty scarlet colored, purplish blooms. Again, just admiring the beauty of my yard. Well, here I have some butternut squash and some sunflowers and onions, and I don't remember what this is. Oh, more of that sunflower. And the corn I told you about. My peppers, they got drowned out. They're going to survive, I can tell. The rhubarb, perhaps too. It's a little more questionable than the peppers, but it's still alive. That's saying something there. And the rest of my table here just needs to be cleaned up. My first rose of the season. This is it's kind of a climbing rose, although we don't let it climb very far because it's in front of this window and we don't want the screen to be damaged. That's the first bloom. And California poppies looking quite beautiful. And back to where we started. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little early morning, well, not so early, but morning tour of my garden. It's a Monday morning. Monday mornings I kind of lay in bed for a while, just because I can. But I wanted to share with you just what it feels like to go out, the crispness of the morning when the birds are singing and it's not too hot, and finally it's not too cold. It was in the 60s already by the time I got up. It's going to get kind of warm today, but that's okay. My plants need the warm. And just enjoy the beauty of my yard, my garden. Why do we garden? Number one, for the beauty of it. And number two, for the food. And I've already been harvesting. I have already been harvesting the lettuces and the kales and Swiss chards. I'm anxious for tomatoes and peppers and cucumbers. They'll come along shortly. I'm anxious for strawberries and raspberries and grapes. They'll come along shortly too. So, as we enjoy this morning together, it's just amazing to think about the birds singing, how they cheer us up. The birds are always happy. They love to sing. I love to sing too. I'm not especially good at it. I'm not bad at it either. I'm not a professional singer. I do consider myself a professional musician because I get paid for making music. That's what makes me a professional musician. I taught music. I've taught piano lessons, and then I've taught music in private and public school during my career, as well as business classes. And teaching school, the kids never seem to mind my voice. I don't like my voice. I wish it sounded like the people that make recordings. It doesn't. But it gets the job done. And when I sing on worship team, when I play the keyboard on worship team at church, I always sing along too. I do alto because I don't have to stop and think about it. My voice just naturally harmonizes. And it sounds a little better when I'm singing the lower notes than it does when I sing the high notes. My high notes make me sound like a little girl, my opinion. But they say music is the eyes into the soul. Gardening's kind of like that too. Getting out and putting your fingers in the dirt. There's just something magical about it. I know some people don't like to get their hands dirty, and I don't if it's in the right circumstance, but when I'm gardening, I like it. It always gets my fingernails dirty. That part I don't like so much, but I don't like wearing gloves because it seems like my hands sweat in the gloves and always poke holes in the fingers, and I'd rather just feel the dirt, if that makes sense. Because, like I said, something's magical about it. the little plants grow in it. The weeds grow in it. I try to get rid of the weeds. Some of the weeds are good. I keep some of them, but for the most part, weeds, I don't know why weeds were created. What a mystery. Anyway, it's the beginning of the week. Every day's a new day. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. That's kind of a cliche, but it's true. And I hope this day finds you with your soul at peace, happiness and joy in your heart. No matter what circumstances you might be in, we can achieve those calm feelings, even when things are not going good. So I hope that you have time today to go outside and just breathe in some of the fresh air. Look at the beauty around you. If you never thought about the beauty around you, think about it. Where there are trees and flowers. Even things that you might not have thought of as beautiful can be beautiful. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Boy, I'm full of cliches today. But enjoy the day. May the good Lord richly bless you. And I will see you in my next video.